All right, here we go, everyone. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Sports Hounds starting right now.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like oh, this thing he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night. Welcome to the Sports Hounds, exclusively on A2DRadio.com. The new and improved Sports Hounds. Jimmy Rodwell, Evan Taylor, of course, Brad Ryer, and myself, Rob Brinkman. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, and Instagram. If you miss anything, stream us wherever you get your podcasts. Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Make sure you turn the notifications off. Turn the notifications on. Subscribe, like. Don't miss anything. We got baseball. We got football. Might touch on some basketball. We got trades galore happening. Yankees have been busy. The Astros have been busy. The Boston Red Sox have surprisingly been busy. And then hopefully there's more to come. Clock's ticking here on Dave Dombrowski in Philadelphia. This team has to do something to ensure a playoff spot. Like each and every Monday, we are brought to you by Aria Public Adjusting. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. 813-564-3364. That's Aria Public Adjusting. You don't have to fight alone. You got Aria Public Adjusting. We're brought to you by Manscaped. Still a lot of summer left. Manscaped right, 20% off. A2D promo code. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. We're also brought to you by All Campus down the Ocean City Boardwalk. Proud sponsor of the Ramp Booth. You get 20% off if you're an A2D member. In said store, become an A2D member, follow the link, you get merchandise, you get special shout-outs, giveaways, and, of course, the gambling picks from the Money Pop Podcast and Willie Vegas. So let's just get to the poll. We're going to jump right into it. Let's go over the trades first because it was a busy afternoon in the MLB trade deadline. Frankie Montez, Brad, goes to your Yankees for some farmhand, 4 farmhands. You also get reliever Lou Trevino. Shocker of the day is Josh Hader. Goes from Milwaukee to San Diego. Fantasy football instigator Tommy Pham, who I personally put that aside, would have been a nice kind of sleeper piece maybe here in Philadelphia. He goes to the Boston Red Sox, which is a little weird. Houston Astros, they've been busy. They get a catcher in Christian Vasquez. They get a designated hitter in Trey Mancini from Baltimore. Teams are getting better. And, of course,
why? Now I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Brad.
Why is Christian Vasquez going to the Orioles?
He's going to the Astros.
Oh, he's going to the Astros. I thought you said the Orioles. I was going to say.
Actually, just happened.
That makes sense.
I don't know if they had a day game today or a night game, but he was on the field doing some media, and they told him about it, and he was pretty shocked. But, I mean,
wow.
Outhouse to penthouse. Boston's going nowhere. Houston, it's either Houston or the Yankees in the American League.
Well, that's going to be that'll be saved for the LCS.
And then we had Luis Castillo, a little old news, but still a big trade. Luis Castillo goes from the Reds to the Mariners in a massive prospect haul for the stinky Reds. So who's left?
They got 3 of their top 5 prospects.
Yeah, they got a huge haul.
Yeah,
but Seattle's win now. So our poll question of the night, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapies. Our doc, make them yours too. Dr. Paul Vidal, 2 convenient locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. He's our doc at A2D Radio. Make them yours too. Jimmy, we'll start with you. Phillies should trade their top prospects at the deadline. Agree, disagree?
Well, you read off, I wanted Montes, I wanted Castillo. I'm thinking about other pitchers that are out there. I don't think you're going to need to give up a lot to get a center guard. I don't think you're going to need a lot to give up a lot for, say, a Quintana from Pittsburgh. I mean, those are the two starting pitchers that are really left right now. We say we want to add to the back end of this rotation just because it's good to add. And if you have 6 valid starters, I mean, you obviously have your 2 aces in Nola and Wheeler. Some may say that Nola is an ace, but he is a solid number 2 in this league. Wheeler is your clear ace. It's really good to get starting pitcher depth. I mean, to move Gibson to the bullpen, to move Ranger to the bullpen, to move Eflin to the bullpen if he ever comes back, and even if Eflin doesn't come back, you need to go get a guy like Syndergaard or Quintana. And if you get a guy like Quintana, you could sprinkle in a Brian Reynolds in there. And if we're talking about getting Brian Reynolds, yes, I'm trading our top prospects. I'm trading Painter. I'm trading McAble. I'm trading the catcher because catchers mean nothing. Like we look around the league, catchers mean absolutely nothing nowadays. So if you're
signed for the next however many years in in JT, so you don't need a
exactly.
Catcher.
You're paying a catcher $100 million a year.
Everybody needs a good catcher, though. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true, but you look around this lineup that we have, valuing a Connor O'Hop or whatever the hell his name is. It's
Logan
a video
O'Hop.
game name. Logan
Yes.
O'Hop. It's a video game name. It's a video game name. And he's our third best prospect right now. So if you're telling me that we're gonna send McAble, Logan O'Hop, and then 2 other prospects for Brian Reynolds and Quintana, then yes,
You got to do that. You got to do that. And even if you're not crazy about Quintana, it's just Brian Reynolds is a tremendous player.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's just what you need in center. And Quintana can be a good, solid number 3 pitcher.
Exactly. And Rangers turning it up. So if you have 4 valid starters going into August, and then you tell me that we're going to get Gene Segura back Tuesday, and then Bryce Harper back in a month, we may have the best additions of the trade deadline.
Yeah, Bryce is coming back he'll be back soon. He got his pins out today, so his thumb's fully healed. He's just got to get his timing back, maybe do a couple rehab starts, then he's coming back.
Yeah,
so there's your offensive firepower at the deadline right there. You got to add innings.
And
you don't really need hitters, but if you can figure out a way to pry Brian Reynolds loose from the Pirates, that's something you should absolutely do.
And if you're telling me that we have to trade Painter and McAble, the only reason why I would say yes to get rid of both of our pitching prospects is because you have Brian Reynolds for another year. You have another year to play around with him, especially since you have a big possibility at getting a Trey Turner. And then all of a sudden, our lineup looks absolutely unbelievable next year.
Well, I don't think it's a big secret that I'm a huge agree to the poll. Look, your payroll indicates whether you're a buyer or seller if you're good, right? Like the Phillies have a $200 million payroll. You got to buy. You're 8 games over 500 right now. You're up on the Cardinals by 8.
I think they're actually 230. They're 10 million less than the Yankees right now. The Yankees are at 240 and you're at 230.
So yeah, like you got to buy. You're going to sell with a $230 million payroll. What message does that send to your fan base? What message does that to send to the rest of the league? That's nonsense. I've kind of shifted away from the center fielder because I think there is enough offense here to get to the playoffs. Like I say, you're getting Gene back, you're getting Harper back at some point. But I can't watch like Nick Nelson starting the series opener. You got a little mini series here with the Braves, I guess. Some makeup action from the lockout, probably. So Nick Nelson starting game 1. I have no confidence the Phillies are going to win that game. I don't care how much you hit. The Braves are going to hit that much better against Nick Nelson. That's Brad's boy. He knows all about him. And then Bailey Falter is currently starting every 5th day for this team.
Let me just add something, Rob, real quick, just not to cut you off. I do think something is going to go down in a place start. I think they're just saying Nick Nelson is starting now on Tuesday, but I think we get something done tonight. I truly do, and I think that guy's starting tomorrow.
So you have till 6 tomorrow to make trades. So, but
I've heard rumors that Shane Bieber might also be available.
If Shane Bieber is available and we land him,
if he's available, you guys need to trade your top 5 prospects for him.
That's fine.
What about Rodon out in San Francisco? They're falling out of the race. Surprise, surprise, because Gabe's a weirdo.
Weird Gabe.
Just an unrepeatable 107 game.
Rob, I love Rodon. Okay, I love him, right? Because I always try to get him on my fantasy team. I think the guy's a fabulous pitcher. There's just one problem with him. He's always getting hurt. And
I'll
He'll fit
risk
right
it.
in here.
I'll
He'll
risk
fit-
it.
He'll fit right in.
Yeah,
He just signed a contract that wasn't too nuts, I feel like.
no,
in the
he
offseason.
he can opt out at the end of the season, or you can keep him.
Okay, there you go. Like, I'm not making Painter and Abel available for Carlos Rodon. I'm doing that trade in a second. Marlins, they're always trading prospects. I have no idea what they're going to do, but a guy like Pablo Lopez, you can get a guy like Pablo Lopez in here, be your
He's available.
starter.
I've heard that he's available.
Look, I've seen Jake Odorizzi be dangled out by the Astros in rumors.
I think he already got traded, didn't he?
I don't think so. I have the thread up here on Yahoo.
Yeah,
I'll
but
double
let's be
check
honest.
it.
He absolutely stinks. And by the way, Judge just hit number 43.
Yeah,
He's unbelievable.
He's going to be
Guy's a
MVP this
freak.
year.
He has hit
The
a
guy's a
two-run
freak.
home run. It's four. No, what is it?
Yeah,
5
tell
to 1 run?
Cashman, price is going up. Price is going up. 43.
Yeah, every time he hits a home run, Cashman must hear in his sleep, "Ba-bing!" No, cha-ching. Listen, here's the
I
deal.
think it's going to be a
10
huge
years-
problem for the Yankees. I've said
10
it
years-
before. I think it's going to be a huge problem for the Yankees if he hits the open market.
Well,
His Uncle
10
Stevie's
years-
laying in the wings with a big checkbook,
10 years-
and he doesn't care
10 years,
at all.
$400 million, and he'll be a Yankee.
I mean, okay,
400 million.
you
I don't
seem
think they
way
have
more
much to
confident
show.
in it than me, Brad.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is going to. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the last 3 or 4 years they're going to be suffering with that. But you know what? This is a potential Hall of Fame player. You know, he's the best player in baseball this year by a freaking mile. He's going to win the MVP. He's even going to beat out Shohei Ohtani, which is amazing because of how good Ohtani is. He's having a year for the ages. He might break Roger Maris's record.
It's only a matter of time. You might do that by September 1st, the way he's going. He's nuts. But getting back to the trade deadline, like, I'm making everyone available for guys like Carlos Rodon, Pablo Lopez. Like, Charlie Blackmon's out there in Colorado just kind of chilling in no man's land on the Rockies.
Nope.
I mean, I
And
want
here's a
pitching,
question,
but, like, I'm not going to turn my nose up at Charlie Blackmon.
Can
I'm
he
not
play
giving up
center
Logan
field?
Logan
Alcantara.
O'Hatt for Charlie Blackmon. Like, are you nuts? You got to win now. You're 8 games over 500 right now after the sweep of the stinky Pirates, which good for the Phillies for taking advantage of a bad baseball team and getting a sweep. Not 3 or 4, not a split, but a sweep. And you're 15 games over 500 with Pete Thompson as your manager. So things are going in the right direction here. But I think that the Cardinals are looming on Juan Soto. I think there's multiple sleeper teams working on Juan Soto. I think today's trades kind of eliminate the Yankees from that mix, but the Dodgers are in that mix as well. But, like, okay, like, you might get to the playoffs, you might not, but, like, I want to get to the playoffs. I want to do damage. And I can do that with a Rodon. I can do that with a Pablo Lopez. I can add a Charlie Blackmon and do some serious damage in the playoffs with this. So I'm 100% trading unproven talent for proven talent.
What about a guy like Sandy Alcantara?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's
I mean, this is the Marlins. They'll trade anybody. They're bizarre.
everyone. Every prospect for the next 15 years, I would
I
trade.
think Pablo
for Sandy
Pablo
Alcantara.
Lopez is definitely more realistic than Sandy. But if Sandy's available, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. If Sandy becomes available, there's no way in hell that you do not pull that trigger.
But, like,
I mean,
what I
the guy's a
don't
stud.
want, Jimmy, what I don't want, Brad, and what I don't want, Evan, is don't go out and trade for Zach Plesac and throw your hands up in the air and tell this fan base you bought.
Yeah,
You didn't buy. That's
yeah, if-
nonsense.
I'd rather
By the
not do
way,
anything than get Zach Plesac.
There was a
It's
question asked. I'm not sure who it was that asked the question. Who's better between Noah Syndergaard and Quintana? I would say right now, yeah. Thanks, Jason Bennett. Yeah, you're the one who asked it. Yes, I think Quintana is better right now. To be honest with you, Thor's not been good this year.
Yeah, nobody in Anaheim has been good though. I mean,
Yeah, that's a
besides
pitcher's
Shohei.
ballpark.
Trout.
No excuses. Listen, I understand one loss record to me does not mean anything. Okay, because if you're on a bad team, it doesn't. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. However, if you have a good ERA and you're striking out a lot of guys, Okay, but then you got to think about that, and you take a look at Thor. His stats are not very good. Quintana's are better.
Yeah.
I mean, he may not pitch as many innings, but I mean, he'll give you 5 to 6 quality innings. Thor might give you 6 to 7 innings, but he's kind of more of an innings eater right now than a top quality pitcher. Those days are long gone. It seems like with him. And I know I've had him on my fantasy team all year. He's been extremely disappointing. And I also had Quintana for a while, and I finally let him go because the Pirates always lose. And when you lose those points, it's a killer.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the problem with them. I'd rather have Quintana. Plus, Quintana has some experience. Well, so does Thor, but I think Quintana at this point is a better bet.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the prospect of maybe adding a Brian Reynolds into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did Rob just disappear?
I would go. He'll be back.
Oh, okay. I was looking at something and I come back and he's gone. Just disappeared.
No, he'll be back. I don't know what's going on. He'll be back, so don't worry.
Evan, what do you think about the poll? You treasure these prospects or?
Nah, not at all. I think like Rob said, you're spending all this money to win games and get in the postseason like you haven't in the last almost 12 years now. You got to just go for it, honestly. And maybe
just making the playoffs shouldn't be good enough for this team,
especially if we play against the Central.
You got to at least.
I mean, with the circumstance we went through this season,
you got to at least get through the second round.
Yeah.
To the second.
If we had a fully healthy lineup, I think that would be no problem. But when Harper comes back, you're not going to have him in the outfield like you would.
Well, I think you guys are better than Milwaukee, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If St. Louis comes on, I think we're better than St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to win that first round against.
Your problem is that the other three, the other two teams that are in first place and one knocking on the door, the Braves, the Mets, and the Dodgers are all outstanding ball clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Jake DeGrom is going to be making his first appearance tomorrow, which is not good news for anybody, by the way.
Yeah, it's not good news for anybody, but our rotation has held it together all year. Like we've been a top-notch rotation this entire season, and if we were to add a guy like a Quintana or a Thor, I know he's had a rough year in Anaheim, but Anaheim just has that stink to him where only two guys are ever good, and that's Shohei and that's Mike Trout. Now, if you tell me that we added Noah Syndergaard and he comes back east and he pitches like he used to in New York when they made that World Series run.
He hasn't been.
But he hasn't been healthy. I mean, if he comes back to the Eastern market and you throw him in this rotation as the fourth guy.
They've only been pitching him once every 6 days.
Mm-hmm. Well, that organization is just atrocious. I mean, you want to talk about poorly run organizations. I mean, they struck gold 2 different times and they still can't figure it out.
Yeah, I know.
So if you tell me that we're adding that to our rotation when you already have Zach Wheeler, when you already have Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez turning into last year's Ranger Suarez, Kyle Gibson has been holding it down. He could be your 5th guy, and then Eflin's just in the shadows, healing whatever he has hurt this time, and then you add a Noah Syndergaard. I think you're solid. I think you're, and then you add Gene Segura and Bryce Harper.
He's okay. I mean, if you're using him as your number 3 starter in the playoffs, you can certainly do a lot worse than him.
Yeah,
you can.
I don't know. I just know that Zach Wheeler is going to be our number 1. Aaron Nola is going to be our number 2, and Ranger Suarez is pitching like a number 3 pitcher right now. And then you have options at that 4th. And
don't
5th.
Forget, once you're in the playoffs, you're playing against the best teams. You're not playing against the Pirates.
I mean,
or the Marlins
we have competed against the best teams though, and we've done that over the past few seasons. It's these bad teams that we've lost to. Like the sweep of Arizona last year was absolutely atrocious. It was indefensible. And then come September, we lost 3 out of 4 to Colorado when we were in a playoff race. We were beating
Well,
the
this
good
year,
teams and
this year
losing.
the one sweep that you had that's indefensible was the Cubs.
That's what was happening all last year, all last August, all last September.
They listen. You got some good players there. Your Dombrowski has got to do something to improve that pitching staff. You got to get that number 3 guy. You have to think that you're looking for a pitcher who you can use in Game 3 of the playoffs, not an innings eater, but a real pitcher who's going to go in there because you're going to be going up against somebody's number 3. When you look like at the Mets, okay, you're going to go up against either Carrasco or Bassett, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's the Braves' number 3 pitcher? They got Fried and
Charlie.
They have Fried. They got Strider. They have Charlie Morton. They have
and
a bunch of guys that are way better than anyone on the Phillies past Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying is you've got to have that number 3 pitcher.
So go get.
I mean, I've been saying it for weeks. Like you're catching a break. Like we talk about with the Sixers all the time, catching the right side of the bracket or the good draw on the bracket. Doesn't work out for the Sixers because they just can never seem to get it right. But you have potential to be on the right side of the bracket here. Like you're not going to have to play San Diego, the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Braves in that wild card round. Obviously, 2 of those teams are going to get buys, but
no, you're going to play either the Cardinals or the Brewers. Those are teams you can beat.
You're going to play the Central champion.
Right.
Which could be a problem. I guess could be a real problem if the Cardinals get Juan Soto.
They're not getting.
I have no idea what's going to happen there.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Juan Soto is not moving.
Not
this offseason.
Not until the offseason. I mean, do the Nationals want to have nobody showing up at their ballpark?
What do they have now? Because they have Josh Bell. They didn't trade yet either.
He'll be gone.
Yeah. He'll be gone. But
Mike Rizzo is no dummy. He's one of the better GMs in the whole league, and I think Mike Rizzo is smart enough to realize that longer he waits on Juan Soto, the less he's going to get.
Well,
I think you get more for him now than you do in the winter.
Not necessarily. I don't think that.
Why?
Makes sense.
How does that work? Because you get him for a half a season for a pennant run, and then you get him for all next season, and then you got to pay.
He's got 2 years after this season.
He's got 2. Okay, he's got 2 after this season then.
Right.
But he's going to get his extension this offseason, though. Wherever he goes to, he's going to sign that extension, in my opinion.
Right, and he's already turned down a bunch of money from Washington, and then Washington responded by making him fly commercial to the All-Star game, which was extremely low class. Mm. So if I'm Juan Soto, if I'm not traded, I'm doing pulling a Kawhi. I'm not risking my money.
I have a quick question. When Manny Machado got traded from the Orioles to the Dodgers, do we know how much the Dodgers gave up? Because I know they lost him immediately after they lost the World Series to the Padres. Now, do you think there's a similar situation that's going to happen with that? Do you think he'll be traded to, say, like the Astros, and then they end up losing the World Series, and then he signs somewhere else for this monstrous deal, and the Astros gave up all of that for nothing? Is that a realistic possibility that could happen this season?
I mean, I could definitely see him getting traded twice. I could see him getting traded now and in the offseason. Like, let's say a team like Tampa steps up out of nowhere, which I think is possible. I think there's sleeper teams in this thing that no one's talking about. They're great farm system. I'm sure they got plenty of prospects, and maybe they throw in some major leaguers. Let's say they do that, come up short, and then obviously they're not the best equipped team to pay them all that money. So they trade him to the Yankees or the Dodgers or somebody else in the offseason and get their prospects back.
Yeah, the Astros are trading him to the Yankees, that's for sure. I mean, the Tampa Bay's not trading anybody to the Yankees. That never happens.
I could maybe see the Astros as a sleeper team.
I mean, maybe
their payroll is pretty high now.
Yeah.
The Astros.
I mean, all these teams that are in contention, their payrolls, and like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets.
Well, the Mets and Dodgers don't care.
I just don't see how the Nationals can trade him in division. I just can't see that happen.
I think you're just going to trade him to the best package.
Yeah, they're going to get the best
Do what's
package.
best for them.
I don't think they care.
All right.
I mean, they didn't care with Harper, so.
He's a free agent, but a little different.
Who are the best pitchers available? Is it Pablo Lopez, Rodon, and Shane Bieber? Is that what we have left?
Yeah,
for
then
pitchers?
you get a big drop off. You get guys like Quintana and Zach Plesac and Merrill Kelly, bullpen Mark Melanson. You still got my man Ian Happ and David Robertson sitting out there in Chicago. You still
By
have
the way,
sitting there in Oakland.
You notice the Yankees picked up a reliever from Chicago today as well. Efros.
Yeah. Never really heard of him. And Josh Siri.
Guy has unbelievable numbers this year, though.
He's going to Tampa. That's a Rays move. And David Peralta also went to Tampa.
Mhm.
Another very Rays-like move. But
yeah, he's going to probably platoon, right?
You can't sit here and not do anything, Dave. And not only can you not do anything, I think he's got to do something. He's got to make a little bit of a splash here. Zach Gallen, I'll put him on the available pitchers list potentially. Is Arizona going to be willing to move him because he's young and probably not making much? I don't know, but I'm picking up the phone.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to pick up the phone, but I don't know that they would. I don't know that they would let him go. I don't think they give up on him yet.
Bumgarner could possibly. We went over Bumgarner last week. He's just making way too much money.
Yeah, his money's insane. He's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can't include him.
We'll get to some comments here. Amanda Stevenson. Do you think Bryce Harper and Gene Segura will come back? And my second question is, do you think the Phillies will beat the Braves? My third question is, do you think the Phillies will go to the playoffs? What do you think of the bullpen? The bullpen stinks. Harper and Gene are coming back within weeks.
Gene's
Segura
coming back tomorrow.
Is he going to be back tomorrow?
I think he's going to be in the lineup tomorrow.
I don't know how many rehab. He tore up all his rehab games. I don't know how many.
Yeah, he started every game this weekend.
I don't know how many rehab games you need to get your timing.
I know Saturday and Sunday he played the field, and he was fine. So I think he will be back tomorrow in the starting lineup. And just real quick, we haven't touched base on this. Edmundo Sosa, I feel like the middle infield was the least of our concerns. Like we already had Segura coming back. We have Stott. Gregorius is going to be a serviceable bench guy, lefty off the bench.
Well, Camargo's gone, right?
Camargo is, yeah, and we've had Camargo, but
Camargo's in AAA, and I don't think he's coming back. He hasn't done anything in months, so you have Sosa instead of Camargo now.
I mean, I guess that's
whatever.
True, but I like Camargo's glove.
Yeah, but Sosa, he's gonna field too. He plays a bunch of positions too. It's the same guy. And because of the trade, like you can't send Sosa down.
Well, yeah, I know that.
So
Sosa's obviously going to be that first guy coming off the bench for the infield now.
And then, so where do you hit Gene when he comes back?
Dude, I would throw him right in the leadoff spot. I mean, he's been our best leadoff hitter over the past 4 seasons, and we continue to screw around with it. Just throw him in the leadoff spot and leave him there. I don't care if he starts off 0 for 27. Baseball is about rhythm. Baseball is about comfortability. Just put him in the leadoff spot and go from there.
Yep.
And then you could screw around with Hoskins or Schwarber in your 2 and the Hoskins in your 3 and Ramuto 4, whatever you want to do. But Gene Segura is your best leadoff hitter.
Mm-hmm. He had the highest average last season besides Harper, right?
Yeah.
Spell what I'm cooking. Check us out on YouTube. Phillies need a middle relief man and a number 3 starter who's not a rental. Can't have a success in the playoffs if you have a dead arm bullpen game. Totally agree with you. Look, I look at this pitching staff. Bailey Falter, no more. Nick Nelson, no more. Familia, obviously, no more. Jose Alivardo, no more. Like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I've seen enough. We gotta get some arms in here. John Coyle, checking in from Ocean City. Watching the show from the MGM brand Sportsbook in Vegas. Phillies aren't doing shit. No more money will be sent. Padres are going to beat us out for wild card. Well, I mean,
no, there's 3 wild cards. I mean, the Padres are already ahead of us.
There's wild cards. There's 2 from the West, 2 from the East. the Central winner's going to get in, and then it's the Phillies. It's the second place in the Central, and
Yeah.
I don't know who the
Right.
Marlins make a run or whoever. The Giants seem to be throwing in the towel. So
Right now, we are 6.5 games back of Atlanta, the first wild card spot. We are a game and a half out from San Diego from the second wild card spot, and we hold the last wild card spot. St. Louis is a game behind us. The Giants are 4 games behind us, and then Miami is 8 games behind us. So this little 5-game win streak that
You
we
really
put
have
on
to worry about Miami. They stink.
Well, yeah, that's no
And
question.
As far as St. Louis is good, you're obviously going to have to figure out a way to hold them off. But if St. Louis is serious about trying to get Jake Odorizzi, I mean, is he going to be their big pickup? Jake Odorizzi is terrible right now. He's been getting killed with the Astros. That's why the Astros are willing to trade him.
So to answer your question from earlier, Jimmy, Manny Machado, the Dodgers really stole him because he's a rental. So they gave up their number. Looks like they gave up their number 4 prospect, their number 84 prospect. They gave up the number 4 prospect in baseball, number 84 prospect in baseball, and then number 27 and number 28 in their organization. So
wow. So
that was
a rental too.
I mean, they lost them to a division rival the previous year.
I mean, this was in 2018, and all the prospects, Dean Kremer, Zach Pop, Ryan Bannon, and infielder Brevik Valera. I mean, are any of them making noise right now? No.
I mean, which one was the 4th best in baseball at that time? I mean, he's obviously not doing anything, right? So that tells you how. I mean, I don't know the statistics or the what the analytics say about trading prospects for proven talent, especially in baseball. But with what the Phillies have shown me over the past decade, or really since they got Utley, Howard, Rollins, like all those guys, they haven't done anything in the farm system. So who's to say McAble's going to do anything?
The 4th best prospect in baseball at the time, back in 2018, was a Cuban outfielder named Yusnel Diaz.
I'll look him up real quick.
Well, he's not in the major leagues right now, so we know that.
I sort of have that wrong. I'm skimming an article, so yeah. And the other guy, like, I've never heard of. Like, this is just proves my point that, like, you don't know what these prospects. I would like to try and hold Painter though. I like that he's 6'7" and has good stats in the A-ball.
I do like Painter.
So maybe you hold him, but like you have.
Sounds like a Randy Johnson kind of a pitcher.
He's a righty. He's not a lefty, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't mean he can't be really good, though.
Bring up Baseball America and look at these prospects.
I'm just scoping through.
That.
Did Dave
Peralta
get moved? Sorry, did Dave Peralta get moved yet? Dave Peralta.
Yeah, he's on the Rays.
Okay, I knew I saw him move.
He can't play center though, and he's always getting hurt. So like, we don't need another hurt outfielder. I mean, I guess you can put Nate Eovaldi on the pitcher list as well.
Ever since he hurt his back.
Yeah, I think he's as good as Zach Greinke.
He's making a lot of money.
Zach Greinke is just not good anymore.
Yeah, but he's not making nearly as much money as Eovaldi is right now, and basically the same guy.
I mean, Luis Lugo's in the chat on Facebook. Do you want a quick fix or plan for the future? I want a quick fix now. $230 million payroll. Castellanos is here. Schwarber's here. JT's here. Bryce is here. Wheeler's here. Nola's here. Like, it's time to go. It's time to get up and go and try and go do something.
Yeah, I just see the Hobbs 7 saying Moniak. We obviously give up Moniak for anything at this point, right?
Nobody wants Moniak. Moniak is overmatched at the plate.
The only thing you got number 1 overall pick.
Like, I'm fine with Vierling as your center fielder. Like, it's not fine, but like, if you want to go get me arms and stick it out with Vierling in center field, like that's probably your best bet at this point. But like I said, there's Lorano, there's Charlie Blackmon, there's Ian Happ on the Cubs.
Reynolds is the guy. I think Reynolds is the consensus of if we were to get a center fielder, it's Reynolds is the top priority in my opinion, especially since you could sprinkle in a Quintana.
Ryan Swoop, I'm not giving away pitching unless it's for pitching. I adore pitching. I hate giving away pitching for position players. I'll give them away, but it will only be for pitching. I don't trade pitching for position players. He doesn't want to trade pitching. I mean, like.
What about Cedric Mullins?
Cedric Mullins is another center fielder. I mean, I think I'd rather have Reynolds over Mullins, but Fern says we could dangle Nick Maton.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is a switch hitter. He had an unbelievable year last year, and he just came off the IL, and before he went on the IL, he was hot.
Did you see what he did last year?
Cedric Mullins?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Brian Reynolds was batting around 324 last year. He had over 25.
Cedric Mullins had a big year last year, and I think he's second in the American League in stolen bases.
I mean, I would take either or, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't turn down either one. But
Nick Maton is another name that we could throw around there. I mean, he's had some major league success. I don't know what he's doing in Lehigh Valley this year, but there just hasn't been the spot up here in the major leagues in South Philly.
I mean,
what about Kingery?
If Nick Maton was any good, you're not going to trade for Armando Sosa or whatever his name is. So the writing's on the wall right there.
Well, Maton's just another prospect that you could maybe throw around. Like if you give away your 2, your 4, Nick Maton and Mickey Moniak for whatever. Yeah, Troy, I was shocked when I did hear Pablo Lopez and Shane Bieber like in the chat and just their names being thrown around. I did not know Shane Bieber was going to be available, and I know Pablo Lopez is really young.
Well, I heard it today that Shane Bieber might be available for the right price.
Well, these small market teams with good pitchers are licking their chops because there's not a lot of starters out there, and the ones that are available got traded already. Castillo and Montas got traded already for massive hauls.
Okay.
Really? So
Jimmy, Cedric Mullins last year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
30 home runs, 59 RBIs. He had 30 stolen bases. Hit 291. On base percentage 360. That was last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, not quite as much with the home runs. 8 home runs, 43 RBIs, 22 stolen bases, 256 on base percentage, 317. Still a real good player though. We definitely an upgrade. Would
touched on
definitely
this last week. Like the Orioles are right there, and they got all these prospects coming up. Like, where's the line? Where do you draw the line in the sand? Where now it's time to start winning. Same with the Pirates.
Mancini. They traded Mancini, so
he's not going to fit. He's not. He's older, and they got guys coming up. And
well, he's 20. Mullins is only 27. Okay, and he's been an All-Star twice.
Yeah, we got all these Troy H. I get it. Lopez and the Bieber are going nowhere. Gallen's going nowhere. Like, are you sure? How do you know if you don't pick up the phone? You got to overwhelm them to trade. That's the position you're in.
Cleveland, when Cleveland traded Clevenger, that made no sense.
Wow. Josh Donaldson just...
They did that after.
Josh Donaldson got lucky just now.
That was insanity. That was like a magic trick.
He gets picked off, and Seattle blows the.
What was he thinking? Was that going to be like a hit and run situation?
First base. It's like they were saying, you can go back. There's a double play. Nope, that's not a double play. It's a force out. Never mind.
There you go. Alex Epstein said the kid with the backwards hat knows what he's talking about. There you go. A little love for Jimmy there.
Thanks.
Pete Evans is in the house. He's on Birds of a Feather. We're ramping up football. We're talking some football in the second half of the show. Figure we toss some NL East and try and sift through the AFC because a lot of really good football teams aren't going to make the playoffs in the NFC, and I think some less than stellar teams are going to make it in the NFC.
Yeah, I think you have
Mantic Savage. Any news about the Braves? I mean,
They just signed Austin Riley to 10 years.
they just signed Austin Riley to 10. What was it? 10 years, 232.
Was it 212 or 232?
Something like that.
Something like that. He's making a tremendous amount of money.
Is he the National League MVP right now? He's charging hard.
It was 10 years, 212.
I know Goldschmidt is doing his thing in St. Louis, and he's been having a ridiculous season, but Austin Riley hits it off the fence or over the fence every time he steps to the plate.
Yeah, I would have to say Austin Riley's making a surge.
Best player on the best team usually ends up, in case when it's close, the best player on the best team will get it.
Pete Alonso's got to be up there, right? Pete Alonso, Austin Riley. I guess Trey Turner, Goldschmidt. But they're out of the playoff spot right now. I know we talk about how Bryce Harper won last year and we weren't in the playoffs, but Bryce Harper single-handedly carried the team. Goldschmidt's got Arenado with him. He has a good pitching staff around him. He has a good little team around him, Goldschmidt does, and they're still not in a playoff spot.
Well, because their pitching is decimated.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's the reason why. You want to know what's going on. It's definitely not Goldschmidt's fault.
Well, yeah.
He's done everything he could possibly do to be in the to keep them in the hunt. You lose a guy like Flaherty like they have for almost all the season. That's a tough pill to swallow for them.
Yeah. Just to go back to the poll question, will we give up all of our prospects for proven talent? I want to keep Andrew Painter. The only way I'm giving up Andrew Painter is if we were to get a guy like Rodon or Bieber or Sandy or a Pablo Sanchez. That's the only way I'm giving up an Andrew Painter. I'm not giving up Andrew Painter for a Brian Reynolds, Jose Quintana deal. I'm just not doing it. I think Andrew Painter is going to be a stud.
Yeah, you think that, but we
saw Sixto Sanchez, and that didn't work out for the Marlins.
Well, yeah, and that's another reason. But these last two, Mick Abel was 2 years or 3 years ago, and Andrew Painter was last year, and then this year was Crawford. So who drafted Mick Abel then? Was it Klentak?
Yeah, I think so.
So then last year, Dombrowski drafted Painter. Dombrowski has been a proven guy to know how to get guys through the minor league system. We saw that in Detroit.
Oh yeah, no, he's good at drafting guys. That's one thing he's really good at.
Kathy Brady, John Kruk said prospects get you fired. Couldn't agree more. Look, guys, we're oohing and ahhing over these prospects now, and we don't know what they're going to be. No idea. We just went over the Machado trade from 2018, and the Orioles got nothing out of it. Nothing. 2018, those guys should be in the majors right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So Joel Farabee says the Judge has more home runs than Gallo has hits.
That's unbelievable. That's believable.
Can you believe there's a market for Joey Gallo?
Yeah, Padres in Milwaukee.
Why?
Yeah, that's what
listen. You guys don't have to watch him play all the time, like we have. I'm still mad at Boone for batting him fourth last year in that playoff game against the Red Sox.
Fern has it all planned out. Fern says if Dave is going all in, then we go after Quintana, Reynolds, and trade Abel for Lopez, and move Suarez to the bullpen for long relief. Or Gibson. That will hold us down.
I can't move Suarez to the bullpen right now.
Yeah, Suarez can't be. It would be Gibson moving to the bullpen.
He's their only lefty, and he's pitching great.
My only question is, how are you getting Quintana and Reynolds? Does that mean Painter's going if you're going to trade Abel for Lopez? Because I don't think you need Pablo Lopez and Jose Quintana.
Doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, but I think getting two starters would be silly. I like one starter and then a shutdown reliever. I would love that. Now, out of these three positions, starter, reliever, and center fielder, rank those based off of importance. Like by tomorrow, which two would you like to see? If you
I
could
mean,
only
I know
pick two?
I've said center field a lot in the past.
Starter.
We need starters.
Mhm.
We need a starter really bad.
Pitching, and more pitching.
Yeah, I mean that's what wins your World Series, right? I mean that's why the Rays made it during the
You
COVID
have
year.
enough. Listen, you got, regardless of whether you get a center fielder or not, you win by pitching. You've got enough hitting. You don't have to have an all-star at every hitting position in your lineup. You don't have to do that. As long as you have guys who can swing and make contact and be tough outs, that's good enough with some of the stars you have on your team. Go out and get that. Go get that third pitcher so that when you're in a playoff series, you can match up with the other teams. All the other teams have three good starters that you're going to end up having to play against.
Mhm.
Okay, if you play the Braves, you play the Mets, or you play the Dodgers, they all have three real good starters. You know, you can't go with one or two guys and then all of a sudden have put crap out there. It's not going to work.
Just to go over the standings again for the people in the chat. Like the Phillies are in a playoff position right now. They're 55 and 47. They're 8 games over 500. They're 15 games under interim manager Pete Thompson. So, you're only 1 game back of the Padres for that next slot, which I think is. I mean, you want to try and win baseball games. Don't get me wrong, but try and stay in that 6 seed. Play Milwaukee or St. Louis in the first round, and don't play Atlanta or San Diego, or don't play Atlanta or San Diego, I guess, in that 3-game set on the road in the wild card round. The Cardinals are 1 game back of the Phillies in the wild card, and then you have Giants are 4 games back of the Phillies, and then you have Miami, Colorado, Arizona, all 8 to 10 games back. And those teams, they're not good. They didn't have any expectations going into the season. It's really no surprise they're this far out of it. The Giants are in a current free fall, 3-7 in their last 10. They're losing ground quick. So now they're starting to make some of their guys available. Like, who's their center fielder?
Can Yaz play center?
I don't think so.
I mean, whatever. And a lot of people are chiming in with Evaldi in the chat. He's might be damaged goods.
I think Kyle Gibson's better than Nathan Eovaldi.
Right now, he is. Since he came back from that back injury, he's been really bad. He's not pitched well.
Is there any time we'll return on Eflin? Is he done? Is he
He might be out for the season. Like they don't know. He might be out for the season.
I mean, the fact that we haven't heard anything encouraging, and we've just heard negative stuff about setbacks and whatnot, that's not good.
2nd year in a row.
I mean, that's kind of the book on him.
Yeah.
He's not really anything special when he is.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Swoop, MVP rule should be changed. MVP goes to the player that is on the team and runs his team. And if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be good. I mean, come up with the most outstanding player award. I mean, that's basically what the MVP is in baseball, the most outstanding player. It was kind of, a little bit of a weird year last year, naturally, where all the good position guys all the MVP candidates were on teams that, didn't make the playoffs. That's not going to happen this year. I mean, really, the AL MVP and the AL MVP is done. That's Judge. The AL
Cy Young is done too.
Who's
That's
that?
Verlander?
The guy on the Marlins. No, on the Rays.
You think
McClanahan?
McClanahan? I mean, he's got to be a front runner.
Well, what's his ERA, like 1.6 or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's
Crazy.
They just
he's
they just
ridiculous.
breed pitchers. That's all they do is breed pitchers.
because they have
NL Cy Young is up in the air.
They're really great at developing players. No team in baseball develops players as well as the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, here
When you
let me
think
tell
about
let me
their money. I mean, how much money they spend on their team? It's amazing that they are competitive every year.
Brad, let me tell you something about Verlander, though. He leads the AL in wins, and he leads the AL in ERA. 14 wins and 1.81 ERA for Verlander.
What's McClanahan's ERA?
McClanahan's ERA is 2.07, and he has 10 wins.
Well, you can't go by wins. Wins don't mean shit.
Well, the ERA,
The ERA is, yes, but that could also change, too.
I'm sure they both have a million strikeouts and not a lot of innings pitched.
So
I mean, look at the NL.
McClanahan has 152 strikeouts. Verlander has 122 strikeouts. So,
yeah, I just got an alert from Bleacher Report. The Dodgers are going after Pablo Lopez now. But there's a lot to be determined. There's guys out there.
I mean, there's pitchers just coming out of nowhere that are just available. I mean, Rodon. Who would have thought Rodon was going to be available?
The Dodgers still have the number 3 farm system in baseball right now, by the way.
That's crazy.
They're getting Pablo Lopez.
They have the power to get whoever they want, whether it's Juan Soto, Pablo Lopez, Reynolds, like anyone from the Pirates. Samuel Dressler. Would you want Jackie Bradley or Noah Syndergaard? Jackie Bradley, no.
I think Matt Beerling's better than Jackie Bradley.
I already have.
Jackie
Beerling's good enough. I know Jackie Bradley's a Gold Glover and whatnot, but he can't hit a lick. And, I can just go with Beerling and not have to give up anything. Noah Syndergaard, I mean, whatever. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But, I mean, he's not making – like, if he's pitching Game 3 in the playoffs, like, that's a problem if you even get to the playoffs. Noah Syndergaard is better than Bailey Falter and Nick Nelson, who's scheduled a spot start tomorrow.
Yeah, that I would agree with you. But you got to try to do better than that. Shoot your sights a little higher.
You don't have to tell me. I got my eye in the sky when it comes to this time of year. Free agency.
I would be going
trade deadlines. Get anyone who can help.
I go after Rodon, I guess. I mean, I'm a little nervous about his injury history, but Rodon can shut down any team, anytime, anywhere, any place.
Look,
he's that good.
If Rodon's actually available, I will give up Andrew Painter. I would give up Andrew Painter, O-Hop, and then
you can.
Your top 3.
If he decides to opt out, you can re-sign him and keep him for a long time.
Like any position player prospect is going to be blocked for the foreseeable future. I mean, you have Stott, who I don't think will get traded. You're going to give him at bats and let him develop, and what you got. He's probably going to be the shortstop tomorrow because Didi will go to the bench because Stott's way bad. I'd much rather have Stott out there than Didi Gregorius. Bohm is going to be here. He's hitting the ball like a madman. He's Ted Williams since the All-Star break. Schwarber, Harper, Castellanos all have monster contracts. Reese most likely isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So
and he's the leader of the clubhouse too.
So where are these guys going to play? They're blocked. Juan Soto just took Max Scherzer deep to center. So his price is going up as we speak.
By the way, don't go after Marco Gonzalez because the Yankees right now are just teeing off on him.
Thomas Arnaud, we just need another arm for our pen. I don't need a huge splash. I mean, okay.
Would you like Greg Robertson, or was the experience too bitter with him?
I would take Robertson back.
Yeah. I mean, he was just injured. That was the only issue.
I mean, he pitched once and he got rocked, and then turned out he was hurt and he didn't pitch for us ever again.
Uh-huh.
I mean, literally one appearance. And if he could throw in an Ian Happen there, and then we give you a hop since.
And what's amazing is Robertson had never been hurt before that, and he's never been hurt after he came back.
That's just our luck.
Yeah, you just you got sometimes I think Tom is right about that we can never have anything nice thing.
Oh, it's true. I mean, it's a truism.
It's totally
It's
true. I
horrible.
mean, look at Nick Castellano. Look at anytime the city bucks up on a free agent, it seems to blow up in our face. Except Bryce.
Bucks up on a free agent, goes all in on a young guy, one of our own young guys. Like, I love Tyrese Maxey, but Tyrese Maxey's doomed, and that's because of James Harden. James Harden is going to ruin Tyrese Maxey. And I know it's not basketball season, but I just need to throw. I'm so sick of this Sixers organization. It just goes back to we can't have nice things.
We could do a 6-hour show on my grievances.
So they're getting investigated for tampering for that guy they signed, that 38-year-old guy they signed?
Yeah, because the Nets, because it's all fake news. And by the way, your Knicks are getting investigated for tampering too with Jalen Brunson.
Good.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because his dad is a coach on the team.
Because his dad was a coach on the team, and the fix was in. But all these teams cheat and collude and try and get a leg up. So good for the
LeBron
Sixers
does that
for
every year.
joining the party.
LeBron does that every year, literally.
Yeah, no, it's okay for LeBron to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, LeBron, and what are you gonna, like? You're not gonna take PJ Tucker away from it. We're gonna say James Harden. You gotta go back to what's gonna happen? You get docked like a second. You're gonna get docked a 2nd-round pick. Who cares?
Oh, well.
Like it's like in Mighty Ducks when
What
they
did the what did the Heat who did the Heat try get that they got caught? Because they got caught.
probably everyone. Just like every team that signs a free agent, you gotta.
Yeah, I'm not understanding what.
Back channel.
Like I saw our chat earlier. I wasn't even understanding what we were arguing about. Like the league is just filled with scumbags.
Because the agents run the league.
Exactly. It's a. People say it's a players' league. It's a what's that agency that bets a Clutch Sports. It's a Clutch Sports run
Rich
league.
Paul.
That's what it is. It's a Rich Paul league. They might as well call it the Rich Paul league from now on, not the NBA. Call it the RPL.
So basically, the Nets are butthurt that the guy they traded to the Sixers, James Harden, the guy who couldn't play nice with Kyrie and Durant, he takes less money to win, which good for him. It's something I would never do ever. Take less money. No, not for me. Write my check, write it in the full amount, and we'll go from there. Whatever's left can go to everybody else. So he takes less money, and then Kyrie is a Looney Tune, and Durant wants out. So the Nets
are playing woe is me.
No superstar. The Nets have no superstars that are interested in playing in Brooklyn, and they have no draft picks. So they figured they would rain on the Sixers.
Well, they got your first round picks.
They have my boy Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
they have Benny Boy, and they'll have a late first-round pick next year because they deferred it from this year to next year.
They don't have to trade any of these guys. You do realize that, right? They're not free agents.
No, but we just talked about how it's a player-agent league, and if Durant wants out,
and if Durant and what's Durant going to do? Sit out and not get paid?
And you want to know who started all this? Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard started this in San Antonio. He pulled up on a quad, and a quad strain turned into a freaking 8-month procedure. And then he ends up going to Toronto, wins a ring, and then he ends up going where he actually wanted to all along. That's where all this started. And then it ended up being with a Kevin Durant, and then it ended up being with a Russell Westbrook, and then it happened with Kyrie Irving, then it happened with James Harden. It's it's horrible television. It's horrible. It's just horrible.
Mm-hmm. Well,
James Harden are right in the middle of it.
James Harden actually did have a hamstring issue with Brooklyn. That was that. I mean, sometimes it happens that way. You know, sometimes you just have bad luck.
I hear you, but I'm just so disgusted with the NBA. I mean, you want to talk about crumb of the week? They're crumb of the century.
Yeah, I agree.
Rudy Poo says it was the Heat that complained about the Sixers.
Why?
Because of PJ Tucker.
We're fighting over a 37-year-old old man that's not going to be a starter for us?
That the Sixers gave way too much money to and way too many years to? Okay.
That's the one. Let's go. That's the issue. I mean, at least the Knicks. I mean, if they cheated, they cheated. Okay, but at least they're trying to get a good player. The guy you guys got, I don't get that at all.
That's all right. The Knicks aren't going to make the playoffs. That's all right.
Huh?
Knicks ain't making the playoffs. It don't matter.
He'll get in the play-in. He'll get in the play-out. playing around. But
PJ Tucker would start on the Knicks.
where is he going to play?
I mean, he'd
He'd
start on
probably-
the Sixers.
Where-
If
He'd
Tobias
probably
Harris
play
wasn't
the
here.
3,
What
right?
what position is he going to play in the Knicks?
He'd probably play the 3.
Oh, so he's playing over RJ? I don't think so.
Barrett's he could play 2.
I don't think so.
You're
Over
put
over
Brunson
Hol-
at-
over
But like, look at all these scandals across.
over Quickly or over Evan Fournier? No, he can't.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not even close. He
It's all
couldn't.
right. They're not good.
Don
He's a
Don
bench-
19
bench player,
needs to
just
know
like-
what we think
He's
about.
a bench player. That's all. That's what the Sixers are going to use him for. He's not going to be the.
It's atrocious. I can't believe we signed PJ Tucker to 3 years, $39 million. You could have spent that money on Marcus Morris.
You wanted a dog. They said they wanted
a dog? I didn't
Yeah.
want a 17-year-old dog. I wanted a 5-year-old dog.
Nah, you're getting dog years. He's 90 years old, baby. That's
He's
what we're
literally
getting.
117 years old in dog years.
That's all right.
I
Don
can't
Don
stand
19
this
wants to know what we think about Josh Hader to the Padres. I mean, it's a really good move for the Padres. They could
That's
get
true.
Juan Soto.
That's James Harden born.
That'd be
There's been a lot of rumors, but the Padres farm system is not what it used to be either.
And they're about to get Tatis back eventually, at least I
I
think.
thought Tatis was coming back. It was supposed to come back at the beginning of June.
I don't know. He
Yeah,
really messed
they
up.
pushed
He
him
really
back
messed
'cause
up
they-
his wrist.
Yeah, they pushed him back.
By the way, speaking of guys who got pushed back, Severino. Now that they got Montes, the Yankees
Mhm.
put Severino in the 60-day disabled list. I told you he wasn't coming back. I told you they were lying through their teeth about him because they didn't want to end up getting fleeced by anybody.
What did he do? What did he do again?
His lat. He re-injured his lat.
Oh, that's a toughie, especially for a pitcher.
That kills my
Yeah,
fantasy
when he's had that injury before, and when he had Tommy John, and I mean, that guy can't buy a break.
Robert Vale, we need a cannonball at the deadline in reference to the Phillies. I think you're getting a cannonball. I think really the only cannonball left is Juan Soto. Like Rodon and Pablo Lopez, they're nice pieces. I wouldn't put that on cannonball level.
I think
They
Shane
would help a
Bieber.
lot.
I think Shane Bieber would be a cannonball.
Oh, yeah, I would love him.
Oh, Shane Bieber, you're talking about a pitcher that's probably better than Wheeler.
Yeah, he's an ace's ace.
Yeah, he's young too.
I mean, they're going to want both our top guys.
That's fine. Like what is Shane
You
Bieber's
have to
contract
trade
status?
you would do that in a minute. Dombrowski would do that.
Oh,
in a
I
minute.
would. But apparently there's prospect huggers in the chat and all over the internet that say, you can't trade your prospects. You can't mortgage the future. The
Shane
future was
Bieber's
mortgaged when you signed all those $20 million contracts in the offseason.
Pretty much.
okay. So Shane Bieber is 27 years old,
Yeah, he's
And-
beginning his prime.
but
27 to 33 is your prime.
he's
Okay,
coming
so
up
he's
on a
just
contract this
beginning.
year.
He's just
he's-
beginning his
he-
prime.
He's going to be a free agent this coming off season. He's only making he's on a year contract for $6 million right now.
So he's going to be a free agent at the end of this.
He's going to be a free agent.
So that then he might get traded.
Now, would you trade Painter and Abel with the uncertainty?
For him,
of-
yeah. Cleveland is 1.5 back of the third wild card, which is currently held by the Tampa Bay Rays. So they're in it. But this is where these small market teams are kind of in it, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like you trade Bieber to preserve yourself long term. I feel like the Indians are set up to be like okay every year. Maybe they contend in the Central. Maybe they contend in the Wild
They chose who they wanted to pay. Okay, they paid Jose Ramirez. He's the
As
guy
they should have.
paid.
He plays every day, and the guy's an absolute stud. And they got a discount on him for
Yep.
whatever reason.
Because he loves playing there. So you know what? They're lucky.
Well,
lucky
they're
to
a
have-
well-run organization. I mean, and well-run organizations, it starts in the farm system. If you get good play in your farm system, you're set up for success.
Cleveland always seems to get good pitchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just do. They whatever it is that they do in their minor league system, they always seem to come up with good pitching. They just never have hitters, other than Jose Ramirez.
I mean, they had Franco Lindor. I mean, they traded
They
him
didn't want to
away,
pay him.
which I think that
Robert
was,
Vale. How about Blake Snell? Blake Snell is horrible. He's been horrible in San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to get him and give him a shot, you could get him on the cheap, but that's not.
Would they trade him? Would they trade him? Like, why would they trade him? I mean, they
Blake
do have
Padres?
they have an abundance of starting pitching though. They have Clevenger, Musgrove, Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish
Mackenzie
is
Gore.
actually. Yu Darvish has been their ace so far.
Yeah, Mackenzie Gore's been good this year. I know he's had a little bit of setbacks over the
Supposed
past.
to be back. He's supposed to be back by the end of August.
But yeah, they have a bunch of starting pitching. But I don't think they'll get rid of any of them. I mean, why would you? I mean, what happens when one of them gets hurt? You could just plug them right in.
Right. It's like when you to try to make a baseball trading Reese here. Like, what does that accomplish? You plug one hole and open up another.
Well, you could put Schwarber at first base.
You put Schwarber at first, then you're short an outfielder. Because Bryce is going to come back, but I don't think he's going to be able to play the field.
Well, if you could put Schwarber in at first base, I think that opens up that opens up the possibility of getting an Ian Happ and playing Ian Happ in left field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Ian
Would
Happ's
you
not
ever
a center
switch
fielder.
Bohm out to the outfield, or is he just your set third baseman?
He can't. I don't think he can play
It's
left
not that
field.
easy to find third baseman who can hit. That's a luxury in baseball right now. There's not a lot of good third basemen out there.
Look,
wanna know-
I'm filling out my lineup, and I'm putting Bohm's at third base in the 3-hole. That's it. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's on fire. He's young. He's really overcome his early season struggles to become a competent, reliable player for this baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
And like, if you're going to have Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber hitting, 240s and 208s, like, you need an average guy in the meat of that order to keep the line moving. That's why I like Segura fourth when he comes back. I like Schwarber, I like Hoskins, I like Bohm, and then I like Segura. The further down you can put that bum, Nick Castellanos, is fine by me. Because he's not doing anything. He's like, I've never seen someone hit into so many double plays. And it's a shame because, like, if he was even sniffing the back of his baseball card, we just push it all in for pitching. That's all you would need.
Well,
Well,
why doesn't Thompson have some of the guys running when he's up? Try to avoid a double play.
Because everyone's a DH. When you have 9 DHs that can't move or run in your lineup, like, this is what you get.
Well, he
Yeah,
does.
So you have nobody who has.
No, they're both hurt. Our two best runners are Segura and Harper.
But Rob Thompson does move guys a lot when they are on the base path. He has proven to do that. I have seen a significant amount of hit and running going on since Rob Thompson has taken over.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, like, Bryce was going to get 20 steals if he stayed healthy. He's not now. Like, I think JT Realmuto has 8 steals.
Yeah, JT's a good base runner. Matt Veerling is a wonderful base runner. Odubel stinks.
He's another one. I'm tapping out on Odubel. I've seen enough. I can't do it.
Rob Thompson got
Stott-
his base, kind of. So
Stott is a good base runner.
He's kind of a knucklehead.
When Stubbs is in the lineup, he's a good base runner. Like, they have solid base runners.
Schwarber's a butcher on the base paths.
Well, yeah, he runs like there's something.
As much
like,
as
in
he
his
can
pants.
mash the baseball. And, like, he's not slow. Like, he can
he's
move
just
a
built
little
like
bit.
Babe Ruth. That's all. Like, it's just.
But, I mean, man,
He's just built like a person that can't run. I mean, that's the bottom line with Kyle Schwarber. And I know, Rob, you were saying you want Gene in the 4-hole. I think once everybody comes back, I'll leave Harper out because I don't know when he's coming back. But
In the 4.
tomorrow's lineup, I think it should be Segura 1, Hoskins 2, Bohm 3, Schwarber 4, JT 5, and then Castellanos 6.
Mhm.
And then maybe give me a Stott and then a Veerling and then whoever else I'm missing.
Oh,
I mean,
that'll be
whatever.
rough.
We're-
That stop Veerling.
If that's what they do, that's fine. Like, I do trust Rob Thompson. I called him Pete earlier. I don't know why I called him Pete Thompson. Pete Thompson sounds familiar though, but it's Rob Thompson. He's the manager, and they're 15 games over 500 with him in charge. So whatever he does, he's kind of got a little bit of a pass. Like, okay, you want to do this? Okay.
Pete Thompson, radio personality, 97.3, South Jersey.
He's probably he's probably a player's manager, and he probably just makes them gives them confidence. Who knows?
Mr. Rudy Poo on YouTube. Castellanos playing through some type of injury. He was raking before he got hit by that pitch a month ago. I don't know what part of the season Nick Castellanos was raking. I must have missed it. I watch a lot of games because I'm a diehard, and I haven't seen it in 4 months.
Yeah, I'm out on that. I'm out on thinking that. Nick Castellanos has the slowest swing I've ever seen in a long time. His swing is very, very slow. And I don't know what up is that.
He swings at trash up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that reminds me of one of Bryce's first couple seasons where he would just be swinging at every out and away pitch. But he got over that. So I don't know what really it is with him because it's the same thing with Gregorius too. There's a couple at bats with Gregorius who was swinging at anything, like out, down and away, swing it every time.
He's always been like that.
Well, he's
Jake
still
real.
He's too.
Do you think Didi could be on the move with Gene coming back? No.
Where's
that contract?
Nobody's going to want him with that contract.
He's 17. He's on the books for $17 million. You're done with him after this year. You're just gonna have to ride it out with Didi. He can come off the bench. He's been better in the field at least this year than he was last year, prior to his injury. Right? He got some type of surgery last year and missed a lot of time.
Yeah,
right?
but he's been pretty solid in it. He's been a vacuum at shortstop over the past few weeks. I think he's been pretty solid.
That's fine.
He's just not giving us anything offensively.
He has one home run, and his home run before that, gas was $2.84 a gallon. So, you got to give me a little more than that. And Stott, Stott's better than Gregorius, but, and I'm not saying trade Stott because you can't – it's not Xbox. It's not fantasy baseball. You can't just trade everyone for everyone. But, these guys are people with families. You got to take that into account too. But, if you're getting a stud out of nowhere that no one's talking about becomes available and they want Bryson Stott, okay, I'll use my stupid money, big dick energy payroll to fix my holes in the offseason. Because you're over the luxury tax now. None of these guys are getting any cheaper. They're all locked in. So you're going to be right at that $200 million threshold for the next 4 or 5 years.
I'm liking the thought of Shane Bieber, and I think you go all in for Shane Bieber, and then you sign him right away. You got to sign him. I don't know how much he'll probably make. $24 million a year for 6 years.
Well, you got to look at the Musgrove. The Musgrove, they're roughly the same age. I think Musgrove's 29. He just got 5 years for $100 million. He should fire his agent, by the way, because he got the same deal as Nick Castellanos, and Nick Castellanos stinks. And Joe Musgrove might win.
I would think Joe Musgrove would get whatever Noah Syndergaard got. Not Noah Syndergaard. I'm sorry, Zach Wheeler.
It's kind of 5 years, $100 million. That's kind of what Zach Wheeler got. I think Zach Wheeler got 125.
That's probably what
that's what Bieber's gonna get.
Oh, he's absolutely gonna get that.
Musgrove already got it. They already signed him.
He is an ace's ace. Bieber. And if he ever played on a good team, he'd win 20 games every year. That's how
he is on a good team.
They're not really good. They can't hit. Nobody on that team can hit except Ramirez.
What did your boy Bill Parcells always say? You are what your record says you are. And right now the Indians are 52-49.
That's not really that great.
They're 1.5 out of a playoff spot. And you're going to trade Shane Bieber? Capitalize if you can.
Let's put it this way: if they got
knucklehead prospects to Cleveland for
Rob, if they got what they got for Clevenger, they might.
Well, you might get him for a ransom because he's going to be a free agent. We talk about what happened with Machado. He gave up the fourth best prospect in baseball, and then you got nothing. And that fourth best prospect in baseball turned into garbage. Like, he's not in the league anymore, and that was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
So you could get him for a ransom. You could just get him for an Andrew Painter and then just guys.
And Benintendi went for low-level prospects, and he's a rental.
Yeah. Yankees really didn't give up much for him.
So, like, the Phillies have the ammo to go get guys. Are they going to pull the trigger? I don't know. I hope they do, because I can't imagine the St. Louis Cardinals doing nothing. The Brewers sent Josh Hader away. Rumors are they're in on Josh Bell. We'll see. And, the Dodgers are going to add. The Padres already added. The Mets are laying in the weeds on something, I think. Because, they got Vogelbach from Pittsburgh, and they got Tyler Naquin from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't think they're listen. They also, Uncle Steve Cohn. Is that his name, Steve?
Cohen, Stevie Cohen.
Uncle Steve. Yeah. He's he can't let the Yankees outdo him. He's going to do something.
I think he's going to save his prospects for Shohei for this offseason. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Shohei's going to be a Met.
Oh.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
You don't think Ohtani's going anywhere? I mean, the team's garbage. They're
I know
absolutely
that.
horrible.
I understand that, but the Angels are a very, very stubborn organization, and they're not very smart either.
I mean, I would trade Trout for a whole farm, and then I would trade Ohtani for a whole farm if I'm the Angels. I mean, because those are the only two guys
right now,
you
you're
got.
not going to get anything for Trout because we don't know if he's got a career threatening injury with his back.
Trout downplayed it, of course, which is what you would expect from a player. And it looks like he's going to play again this year, according to reports. So we'll see.
Yeah, but he could have a David Wright type of injury.
It's blow up time in Anaheim, Los Angeles, wherever the heck they play now, because they just can't get it right at all.
Rob, I got a question. Do you think it's possible for us, if we were to get Bieber, do you think it's possible for us to sign him and then sign Trey Turner in the offseason?
No.
Jimmy, there's no salary cap in baseball.
Oh, it's possible,
So
but
yes.
but that's a lot of money though.
Not my money.
I know, but you're going to end up with a $275 million payroll. I can't see the Phillies do. Yeah, but I can't see the Phillies doing that.
I mean, we're a major market. We're a major market team. I mean, our payroll's been in the top 5 over the past how many seasons now?
Yeah, but
you might as well just go all in.
But your tickets haven't been that expensive.
I mean, that's when tickets will be expensive, right?
Yeah,
I mean, merchandise will be selling. I mean, you better have a good record if you have Shane Bieber, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and then you have in the field Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto. Like, you better have tickets going.
Anything is possible. We've all seen God knows what with Major League Baseball trades. I don't know that you get both those guys. That's
the only thing you got working for you.
I'm not saying you won't, but that is a lot of money though.
The only thing you got working for you with Trey Turner is him and Bryce are boys.
Mm-hmm.
So you might get, a little insider action on Trey Turner because Bryce Harper will have his year.
We should try to sign his dad or something to our as a hitting coach.
Sure.
Hey, it's not a bad idea. The only difference is that if you want to talk about that, Brunson played for the Knicks and has been an assistant coach for the Knicks before. So it's not like he's never been here before.
He was the coach for Camden, actually. I didn't know that. I had to look that
Camden High. Yep.
Who's that, Trey Turner?
No.
No.
Jalen Brunson's dad was the head basketball coach for Camden
Brunson.
High.
Yeah, he went to Temple.
Yeah. If the Guardians want to just get rid of their pitching staff, I think you could get Tristan McKenzie for the cheap. I mean, if you're throwing away Shane Bieber,
I don't think
you're not. No, they're not trading.
That's not the game. That's not the games they play. Like Tristan McKenzie's going to be cheap for many years.
He's got 5 more years.
Does he really have 5 more years left?
He just came up.
Came up last year. He's really good, by the way.
He's
You're right.
really good.
Yeah, I know he is.
Bucket getter
He's
215.
one hitter
Shane
against the
Bieber's
Yankees for
overrated.
7 innings.
Like, I don't agree with that at all. Shane Bieber's not overrated. He's not a Cy Young candidate like he's been in years past, but he's a
He was also
really
injured
good
early.
pitcher.
He was also injured early in the year too.
So, I mean, the clock's ticking. They got to do something. Let's get on to some football. Camps are open. Eagles going. The East is going. The AFC is going. So, we'll get into some. I mean, anyone who wants to start, anything jumping out at you about Eagles training camp or around the NFL?
Evan, what do you think of your boy Jalen
Rager-
Hurts?
Huh?
What do you think of your boy Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts. I mean, my opinion is pretty well documented. I don't think he's good enough. I do think the Eagles are going to win the East, but I don't think they're going to win a playoff game because of Jalen Hurts. Now, like, that can change. We're going to be talking about playoff predictions here in the next couple of weeks, and we can finalize them. Like, you could get a cush matchup because the NFC stinks, and I think some not so good football teams are going to
By the way,
playoffs in the NFC.
we do have something major to report with football.
What's
Okay. We finally got the suspension for the pervert.
Did we actually?
Yeah.
What did you get?
You
Six
got
games.
6 games.
Thank you. Did I not tell you 6 games?
Yeah.
I've been saying that the whole
They
time.
like the number 6, man. I don't,
Yeah.
Isn't that
I
what?
kept telling you guys because that's what they gave to Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
they came out and said there wasn't enough evidence for anything longer than a 6-game ban.
That is unbelievable.
So at least
At
We
least
know
Cleveland
now.
knows. Yeah. Now, if Cleveland somehow goes 3-3 in those first 6 games, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
see Deshaun Watson, they're screwed either way. Because either Deshaun Watson is going to play bad and they're going to get crushed for giving him all that money and giving up all those picks, or he's going to play good and everyone's going to be attacking them for having bad morals and giving all that money to Deshaun Watson. So Cleveland's damned if they do. It's going to be a circus.
Cleveland has bad morals. They got the
On-
crazy ass running back from Kansas City, Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
So they've already proven that they don't care. You know, they'll hire a mass murderer if he can play football. Cleveland.
But like,
They're the new Raiders.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I don't see much coming from Cleveland this season.
That's a very talented football team, by the
Right.
way.
I know we tried doing their first 6 games or whatever. See like what's realistic about it. As I levitate to the bottom somehow. But the Browns schedule. It looks like. Let me just pull it
Well,
up.
they have
real quick.
Carolina week 1.
Yeah, and I think Baker's
know.
going to blow the doors off of them.
Now,
I think Baker's going to blow the
that
doors
game.
off them week 1 and then stink the rest of the season. Baker
Yep.
stinks. Like, I was a big Baker guy coming out of college and that draft, and I was on board with the pick, but, I mean, that guy stinks.
Mhm.
He doesn't have enough arm talent. He makes poor decisions. He's always hurt. He's a punk. Like, he's just not the kind of guy you want leading your franchise
Yeah.
at all.
All right. So we say Browns going 0-1. Is that a consensus that the Panthers are going to beat the Browns in week 1?
No.
I mean, it's not a consensus. I
Where
mean,
is the game
and-
at?
It is at Carolina.
0-1.
The Browns
I mean,
are
so-
0-1.
So
Yeah,
who's the quarterback right now for? Is it?
so they got
Brissett.
Brissett for 6.
Brissett.
Brissett and Josh Rosen. So if anything happens to Brissett, they're
Oh,
going
no.
0-6.
And then you're
Come
really
on,
then you're
okay.
really screwed. And look, Jacoby Brissett is what he is.
Yeah.
Like over a 6-game stretch, he's going to get exposed big time.
Yeah,
I
but
remember
they
we
run
had the
ball.
Jets. I remember the Jets are in there on that
They run the
schedule.
ball. They run the
Week
ball.
2. Week 2 is home at home against the Jets. So it's at Cleveland.
1-1.
All right, and then it's home against Pittsburgh.
No shot.
I
One
think
and two.
Pittsburgh wins that game.
Ooh, Yeah. Did you guys see the what was it? Pickett already starting fights in
Yeah,
Claire and
I mean
Kelly?
he's a little rebel rouser too, but that's okay.
I don't
Yeah.
like Pickett. I don't like
you
his
need a
attitude.
couple guys like that. Look, you can't have a football team or a baseball team or a hockey team or a basketball team with a bunch of Boy Scout choir boys.
Carson
Yeah,
Wentz.
That never works.
No, can't have a
You need
team
a couple
called
guys.
Carson
You
Wentz.
wonder if they're going to show up for the game. You wonder if they're going to get locked up on Friday night. You need a couple guys like that.
Yeah, I'm out on that being your quarterback.
So 1 and 2. With the,
I'm
one
a
and two with the
I'm a
Browns.
Trubisky guy. I do like Trubisky. I think he got shafted in Chicago, and then he got unfairly
He
blamed
took
for.
I mean, I know it's like popular to say, "Oh, Mitchell Trubisky stinks," and
I don't
this
think he
and that.
stinks.
I don't think he stinks either. He took Matt Nagy's stinkhole offense to the playoffs twice.
O-line was terrible too.
O-line terrible. Had no weapons.
Oh, that's not true. We had good receivers.
I mean, Allen Robinson,
Robinson?
He's
is what he
okay.
is, in my opinion. We'll
He's
see
not
what he
bad.
does. Where is he? In LA this year with the Rams? And
Yeah,
that killer. So he'll have an unbelievable year this year because he'll have guys around him.
of course he will.
But I think he's a very overrated receiver. I
That
mean,
was
he never-
Odell. Is Odell? I forget completely. Is
Odell's
Odell still
unsigned right now because he
ACL.
blew out his knee, and
No, he's probably not going to play then.
they're all saying that
he'll go to
he hurt
Green
his
Bay.
knee because the NFL put too much paint on the logo, on the Super Bowl logo at midfield, and that's when he tore his knee up because he slipped on that paint.
Yeah, that torn ACL cost me a lot of money.
That damn. Oh yeah, it did, Jim. It gave me a lot of money. It keep the score the same, and I won.
The over under on his receiving yards, I had the over, and he only had 2 catches in the second quarter at like 50 yards, and I needed like 9 more yards, and it would have completed a killer parlay. And
He was on his way to a day.
It just
Oh,
freaking ruined me.
They couldn't stop him at all.
All right, so who else the Browns got?
So right now, I think it's 1 and 2. They got Panthers, then the Jets, then the Steelers. So I think 1 and 2 so far, and then they go to Atlanta. Atlanta
2 and 2.
stinks. Like Atlanta
2 and 2.
stinks.
Atlanta's
2 and
horrible.
2.
They're going to run the ball
But the
down.
Browns stink with Jacoby Brissett.
They're gonna kill
But
him.
their running game
We'll
is crazy
give them
good.
2 and 2 because there's not much going on in Atlanta.
And then this is a loss. They go. It's going to be in Cleveland against the LA Chargers.
No shit.
No,
Herbert versus Brissett.
Yeah.
That's not going well.
Chargers,
I don't care where the game is.
Chargers are gonna win that game.
2 and 3, and then they have Bill Belichick coming into town. Patriots at Browns.
Bill Belichick is going to twist Jacoby Brissett
2 and
into
4.
a pretzel.
All right, so they'll go 2 and 4. They'll be 2 and 4 as long as they're 2 and 4, not 1 and 5 or 0 and 6.
I mean, that's kind of a break that they only have one division game, and in what's a really good division there.
That's a huge break.
Jake Friel, who does our social media here at A2D Radio, he does Fan Fridays on A2D Wednesday night. The 6th game isn't final. The NFL still has 3 days to appeal and possibly give Watson a longer suspension. So I don't understand. I don't know the ins and outs of the process.
How's the NFL have 3 days? I thought he had 3 days.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought
how
he could
does-
appeal in and get shorter.
Who gave him the suspension?
The NFL.
The NFL hand out
NFL did.
suspensions.
Yeah, that's he has it mixed up. If he appeals, the NFL could make it more.
Just take your 6. Just
Yeah,
take your 6
not
and
gonna-
sit out and
he's
shut
not
up
going to-
and just
He's
be
not going
thankful
to.
you're not in jail and
Yeah.
sit out the 6 games and then come back.
Exactly. He's not going to jail, and he's only going to have to sit out 6. Just leave it at that.
But anyway, like back to the Eagles and the quarterback. Like I think the Eagles defense is going to be quite nasty this year.
I think
Get
they're
up
going to be
every
elite.
morning and I think about it, and I'm really liking this defense. Reddick, Kobe Dean coming in,
Kaiser
Jordan
White.
Davis coming in.
Kaiser White, I
Here,
think,
buddy.
is a very underrated addition to this
Addition.
team in general. I think he's going to be a stud, especially in a 3-4 layout. But like
Now you
him
have
and Nakobe
you have
Dean,
really good depth now on your linebackers.
him and Nakobe Dean in a 3-4 set as them being the 2 inside linebackers, I think that's just that should be scary for Brad's Giants.
Is that what Gannon's doing? He's running a 3-4 this year.
I think he has to because Hassan Reddick is a 3-4 outside linebacker.
True.
I mean, Javon Hargrave played 3-4 in Pittsburgh all those years. Brandon Graham's on his way to not
He's your-
being able to be an
He's
outside
your
pass
end, but
rusher
you just
anymore.
gave he just gave Sweat that money to be a
He'll
DN.
have the transition. He'll have the transition. I mean, those guys aren't always going to have to jump back in coverage. I mean, Hassan Reddick can do it. I mean, those two don't always have to do it. And you could play with packages where you could throw Nakobe Dean in that spot or Kaiser White in that spot.
Yeah, you have the versatility because you drafted Jordan Davis to be a big nose tackle. Like that gives you a lot of versatility with your defense.
On paper, they look real good.
Milton Williams is
but the game is not played on paper, so we'll see. You remember, you guys thought that you were going to have the dream team a few years ago.
Yeah, but that was a lot of washed up free, like a lot, not washed up, but that was a lot of just big names that were just slightly above average their entire careers. I mean, this seems like it's fitting.
The cornerback, which his name escapes me right
Asamoah,
now.
Nami.
Yeah.
Nami.
That was weird. You want to talk about not having nice things? That was weird.
You see what Asante Samuel said about
him? He went
him?
from being compared to Revis to being just not very good at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Uncle Sweeps, he's in the house. Judge, another home run. He's not quite at 82 yet there, Sweeps, but he's getting close. What's he got, 43, Brad?
43, yeah. He hit 42 yesterday. So
he's a lock for Maris's record, I think. He's got
19 home runs. He needs 19 home runs in in 60 games. The way he's been going, yeah, he's probably.
And then
I'd like to see him have a shot at catching McGuire at 70. That would be pretty fun.
Bob Brinkman, the Birds D, will be top 5 for sure. And then I like the James Bradbury signing too. I think that's a huge upgrade over Steven Nelson. I know he had his problems there with your Giants, Brad, but a lot of guys had problems on the Giants. I mean, they just haven't been a very good franchise for.
It wasn't just him. He was not as good last year as he was the year before. He was way down from that. But at this point, he's still not bad. I mean, if you put him on the right team and you don't make him guard the number one receiver on the other team, then he probably would be in a much better position. Don't try to get him to guard a guy like, say, Mike Evans, because that may not work out. But if
no one can cover those guys. With the way the rules are, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like all those guys, like
no,
it's not a fair fight because of the rules.
I'm just saying he had a terrific first year with the Giants. Last year, not so much. He did fall off a little bit, but again, if Sirianni's defense is favorable for him, we don't know what kind of system he's going to be running this year, and how it's going to affect him. It could affect him positively.
I want to see a lot of man, honestly, with Slay and Bradbury.
I mean, yeah, they're the two best man corners in the league. One of the best, too. I mean, it makes sense.
Sometimes Gannon's a little goofy, and he wants to play these cover 2 shells, and it just doesn't fit what your personnel does the best.
They've done a lot of they did a good job in the offseason plugging holes. They really did.
What do we think? What do we think of the running back position? Word out of camp is Miles Sanders is not getting first team reps, at least not all the first team reps. Kenneth Gainwell is stepping in and taking some of those reps away from him.
Do they pick up anybody in the offseason?
We still have Boston Scott. Howard's gone.
We signed Boston. We re-signed Boston Scott, and we let Jordan Howard.
Of course you did, just so you could torture the Giants. I understand.
He always does stick it up the Giants' ass, which is
he always gets
admirable quality.
He always gets at least one touchdown against the Giants. You can mark that down when they play the Giants. If there's an over/under for touchdowns for certain players, if it's just one, you can definitely play him. The worst thing you'll do is push. He always scores against the Giants. It's remarkable.
There's Mr. Wing taking a shot at your Giants. Good luck with Thibodeau. More concerned with his brand than football.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Guy's a freak.
He's got a lot of talent. We'll see about that. I mean, we're going to start cracking on a guy who hasn't played a game yet.
Mr. Wing, reports are Miles looks great.
Mr. Wing, am I going to have to remind you that you've won one championship
Oh,
in
my
the last
gosh.
60
Here
years?
we go.
There we are.
So take two of
Here we
these,
go.
take 2 of these, and stick it up your butt, okay? And worry about your own team. We know that we're going to stink, so just let it go. Are you
I
that
don't think the
jealous?
Giants. I
Are
mean,
you
I don't
that
think the Giants
jealous
are going to
of
be
us?
good.
They're going to be good in the trenches, Brad. I think they're going to be a
They're
500 football
gonna
team this year.
stink. They're not going to score any points. They're going to give up a ton of points because anybody who was any good is now gone because Dave Gettleman went and just blew out the payroll. So anybody that was good, they couldn't afford to pay, so they're all gone now. So they're a mess. Hopefully, the coach will do a good job and build them up, and they'll start looking good in the second half of the season and improve, and maybe they can start there. But you know what? I also don't think that Daniel Jones is going to work out either. I'm very worried about him because I don't think they did enough to help him out as far as the receivers go.
I think
mean,
Daniel Jones is just as good as Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. I mean, I don't
He has
think
a
we can
better
compare.
arm than he has a way better arm than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and he has deceptive speed.
He's just
he knows when to run with the football.
Yeah, but he's also stupid though. That's the problem.
Yeah, but he's never had an offensive line around him.
Well, that's what we're hoping is going to change. That's the big hope. But I don't know. I think he may just be damaged goods at this point because he's been hit so many times. David Carr, not Derek, okay, but David, when his older brother was a first-round pick, okay, and he got so beat up because he was on so many bad teams that he just, even when it got to a point where even when he, had time to throw, he just was always, worried about getting hit and clobbered, and I think that might be a problem with Jones.
I mean,
and
by
the way, Mr. Wing, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. If you want to talk about fumbles, get with it and know what you're talking about. Don't just say stupid things to be a troll, okay? Just say he fumbles a lot.
He doesn't stink in that aspect. He stinks in another aspect.
Thank you. That's precisely the problem. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. It's the fumbles that kill him.
I mean, I think the Giants' success is going to be tied to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, he's never had his $100 million running back.
To a degree, the guy they drafted in the first round, not this past year, but the previous year, when they traded down,
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, they need him to become big time receiver. If he does, I think that could be a game changer with their offense. But he's going to need to not just beat Dallas. He's going to have to actually get a lot of yards against other teams besides the Cowboys. I mean, we appreciate your contribution against the Cowboys, but you're going to have to do it against the other teams too.
I don't think the Giants finished last. I think Washington finishes last.
They're a lock to finish last. Are you kidding me? They can't stop anybody. Who are they going to stop?
Yeah,
who's their D court? Who Dave will bring in to run the defense?
Oh, geez. I can't even remember at this point.
Washington's going to be better than New York. I think Washington's going to come in second place.
I think Washington's going to be pretty
here we
good.
go. Jimmy's going to start talking about Carson Wentz.
I'm just saying.
No, it's definitely Eagles.
They're good in the trenches.
Up the top two, and then the other.
Carson did not have a bad year last year. It's just those 2 games against the Jaguars that killed him.
Yeah, but when you have to beat the Jaguars to make the playoffs and you don't, there's just something about that kind of rubs everybody in the world the wrong way.
Yes, exactly.
I mean.
What do we think? What are we thinking in the AFC here, guys? Because a lot of good teams are going to miss the playoffs. At least, by my count, 3 to 4 really good teams are going to miss the playoffs in the AFC. We can segue to Carson's old team, the Colts.
I still think
I'm not sold on the Colts. I'm really not sold on them.
Yeah, have we seen Matt Ryan play? Is he really that much better than Carson Wentz right now? Like, let's be real.
Yeah,
I mean, the Colts think so.
I think so.
The Colts also thought that Wentz would be better than Phillips.
Phillip Rivers.
Wentz,
Yeah.
something else went on there in
Rivers-
Indianapolis. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Rivers was not bad with Indianapolis.
He was decent last.
Yeah, he played okay for Indianapolis.
I mean, numbers wise, Phillip Rivers is borderline Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer because I'm very strict about who I let into Hall of Fames. But Phillip Rivers was a rock star quarterback for a lot of years in this league. And then, something else went on in Indianapolis with Carson and the locker room and the coach and the owner. Because for them to just completely bail after 1 year. Where,
I would agree. We'll never know about it, but something happened.
Because, if you look at his statistics last year, they weren't that bad. But when they needed him to step up, he never did. And, in fact, he did the opposite. He gave games away. But, I mean, for the AFC to kind of our last few minutes here before Tommy, DJ, and Brian Brodo kick off around 10, I'm trying to figure out the AFC. I can't really figure it out. Good football teams are not going to make it. And bad football teams.
The Miami Dolphins aren't bad.
I like the Dolphins. I think they're going to grab a wild card.
They might.
There's 50% turnover in this league when it comes to playoffs. So half the teams that made it last year aren't going to make it this year.
What do you think about the Bengals then? Because I know they're going to have a tough schedule this year. They're going to be in a tough division. Do you think they could repeat what they? I mean, they got better. They improved their offensive line.
They did get better.
But the Ravens
Is
are
the
going to be
Super Bowl
healthy now.
hangover real? And it really wasn't until fantasy playoffs, week 13, week 14, where we kind of looked at the Bengals and said, "Oh shit! Joe Burrow's the real deal. Jamar Chase is an animal, and this team might go places." Before that, the first 2.5 months of the season, everyone looked at, we got the Bengals. They were bad last year. So, they're going to have a target on their back. They got the Super Bowl hangover. I love Burrow. I love their coach. They're really talented. They added to their O-line. They're in a tough division.
Mixon and Chase and Burrow are an awfully good threesome.
Yeah.
And they have Higgins and Boyd, too. Really
I feel like their offense is way too – and their defense is just solid. I think even a wild card spot at least. I don't think they miss out.
I think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I have the
I
Ravens.
think they're going to win the division.
They don't have wide receiver.
I think they're going to win the division too. I think it starts in the trenches. I mean, they're so good in the trenches, and their run game is going to be healthy.
Last year, everybody got hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
they literally don't have a receiver though.
They got Bateman and they got Andrews.
Hollywood's gone, isn't he?
Yep,
Yeah.
they traded him for a first-round pick, which was just astonishing to me.
That's incredible. And
We
talk about teams
dropped every important pass that was thrown to him.
I mean, we talk about teams that get it and contend, and we talk about teams that don't get it and don't contend year after year. The Ravens get it, and the Ravens contend year after year. They're never bad 2 years in a row. It's like the Eagles under Andy.
And Lamar has
They were
something
never
to prove.
bad 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
And Lamar is going to be in a contract year.
Yeah,
So
Lamar
Lamar's
was
going to go
injured.
off.
Lamar got injured last year, and the team fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Reports out of Ravens camp, you got to take all these training camp reports with grain of salt because
The Ravens are a Jalen Rager away
Let's
from
talk it into existence.
but yeah,
Starts here.
Lamar bulked up, so that's going to help him. So I do think the Ravens are going to be a really good team, and I think they're going to win the North.
Lamar just needs to run out of bounds once in a while.
Mhm.
It's not necessary for him to run people over. He's going to have to understand that.
And I don't think. I mean, Nick Sirianni said in his press conference the other day, Jalen Rager is not pretty much guaranteed. I'm paraphrasing, but he's not guaranteed a spot on this roster. They have a lot of depth there at wide receiver. So I mean, Jalen Rager could get traded.
He's going to end up on the Jets.
He's probably the sixth best receiver on the team. I mean, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, and Greg Ward are all better than Jalen Rager. And I don't even think it's close.
He'll be on the Jets. That would be a typical Jet move.
Or the Patriots. Or the Patriots that are really good.
Yeah, both those teams love to pick up Philadelphia trash. I don't know why, but they always seem to do that.
Well, I think the Jets are going to stop now that he can't get any because he got Douglas guys. Joe Douglas got Joe Douglas guys in Philadelphia.
Yeah, now he does now. They're going to have a good defense. That I can pretty much assure you.
And speaking of the Patriots, I don't think the Patriots are going to be a good football team at all. Sounds weird to say because they're good every year, but I have them out in the AFC as well. They made it last year. Look, Bill Belichick.
I think Buffalo runs away with that division. I could see 13-3 with them.
And I like Miami as a wild card as well, as a team that didn't get in last year that's going to get in this year. And the AFC West is just a war zone. It's a war zone.
I think all four make it.
All four
that
teams.
I don't think is going to happen. You know what? We always think that, but one team, and I don't know who it will be, but you know what's going to happen. One of the teams is going to get injured and just have everything go wrong.
I think
that's what always ends up happening.
I think the last place team is going to go 9-8.
They might.
Listen. If everybody stays healthy in that division, that could happen. I agree with you, but I'm just saying that it just seems like whenever you have a great division, one team just everything goes wrong.
Well, yeah, you see that happen with the AFC West or the NFC West every year.
Yeah,
when
I mean,
all those teams are contending.
You saw it with Seattle last year, and you saw it with
San Francisco the previous year.
Yeah, San Francisco the previous year. Yeah, it always seems to happen like that. So
I think it's going to be Denver.
That's going to get hurt, or that's going to win it all? Because I think they're going to win it all in the AFC West.
I'm not really sipping the Denver Kool-Aid.
I think Russell Wilson is going to have a field day with Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton.
He might.
And then you throw in that young running back.
You know what they'll definitely have the best defense in the division. That we can pretty much be assured of. The Chargers have probably at this point now that Hunt is not Hunt, but named Hill is not with Kansas City anymore. They probably have the most talent on their team.
Like, how much is that going to hurt the Chiefs not having Tyreek Hill?
I think it's going to kill them.
It's going to hurt them.
Yeah,
because
he was that deep threat, man.
Yeah, and he was a time bomb. He was like, I mean, listen, he's the closest thing to Jerry Rice that we've seen since Jerry Rice.
He was pretty much just like Antonio Brown.
That's what he reminded me of.
They did add Valdez Scantling, and they did add Juju. So I think Juju's going to be playing in the slot.
Everybody hates what's his name?
Valdez Scantling.
Oh, he stinks. Aaron Rodgers couldn't stand the guy because he was always trying.
I mean, he's going to be their deep threat. Hardman's going to be on the outside too, and then Juju's going to be their slot guy. They still have Travis Kelce.
I think we're all in agreement that they're going to take a step back.
They will take a step back. I think they're going to finish in third. I think it's going to be Denver, LA, Kansas City, and Las Vegas.
And no love for the Raiders. The Raiders add Devontae Adams, and Chandler Jones to a playoff team, and
I think they're going to go. They're going to go 9-8.
It's hard to bet against the Raiders. Could win that division too.
They could. They could.
I think McDaniels is going to work there the second time around.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised a bit if the Raiders won that division.
I think they go 9-8 just for the simple fact that you have 6 games against that division.
I mean, I have the Chiefs in my playoffs right now, just like kind of out of respect for Andy and Patrick Mahomes and what they've accomplished in this league. But the more we talk it out, the more I think that
they have the worst defense in the division.
In trouble. I mean,
I don't even think it's close. They have the worst defense in the division.
Oh, they absolutely have the worst defense in the division now.
But
you cannot lose Tyreek Hill and not expect to take a step back. I'm sorry. I don't care who you signed as free agent. None of those guys are even in the same universe as Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill could get 3 touchdowns in a freaking quarter. And didn't we see him do that one Sunday night?
Yeah. I mean, we even saw it in the playoff game against the Bills.
Yeah. I mean,
just how quick they could strike.
Yeah, nobody can guard him. Nobody can guard him.
People were so worried about Tyreek Hill. That opened up space for Travis Kelce. Now, is Travis Kelce going to have a slow year this year because he doesn't have his Batman next to him?
I
maybe.
don't think so. He's the kind of guy. He's going to get open, and he's big and strong. He'll find his way to getting plenty of
I mean, streaking down the middle isn't going to be too easy for him now because
Andy,
the deep. I mean, you lost a deep threat, so
yeah.
I mean, Valdez Scantling is a good deep threat. I mean, he gets open. It's just a matter of catching
I mean,
the
he's
ball.
just not
And so
close
is
to
Hardman.
Tyreek Hill was at all.
It probably won't hurt him to look if he ends up having a chip on his shoulder from being treated like badly from Aaron Rodgers, and he goes over to Mahomes, and he has a chip on his shoulder and he has a good year, then maybe they catch lightning in a bottle that way. I'm sure that's probably what Andy Reid's thinking is with them. But personally, I never liked that guy. I just think he's
the more
never
we're talking about it, the more I think the Chiefs are screwed. Who's missing? Who are the good teams that are going to miss?
I just can't see I thought about the Chiefs.
Jimmy, it sounds like you're Miami going to be out guy. It sounds like you're a Pittsburgh going to be out guy.
Pittsburgh.
I like the Raiders. I like the Raiders very well.
I like the Raiders too.
I think the Raiders and the Chiefs are going to be 3rd and 4th.
The Raiders almost went into Cincinnati on Wild Card weekend last year and stole one.
Yep.
The Raiders then and listen, the Raiders. That was a classic victory against Justin Herbert and the Chargers at the last game of the season.
Well, the Chargers head coach fucking blew that. Pardon my French, but that's
really my only reservation with the Chargers.
Yeah, well, I don't like
Dennis Staley. Is he going to be a reckless maniac and go for it on every 4th down and
yeah, that crap's got to stop.
Not read the room at all and just mess everything up like he did last year, or is he going to learn from his mistakes? And if you don't have it offensively, just take your medicine, punt, and live to fight another day with one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
So
and a very good defense, usually.
Just real quick, I'll give my top 7, not in any particular order in the AFC, and then I guess we could go around and then maybe start wrapping it up. But I think it's going to be Bills, Ravens, Titans, Broncos, and then the 3 wild cards. I think it's going to be the Bengals, the Chargers.
So you can have all 4 in.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to miss. I truly think the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs.
Wow. Like, you have Patrick Mahomes and you're going to miss the playoffs?
I mean, we saw what happened last year when he was in the beginning of the year. And then their defense didn't get any better.
So you're Titans.
Well, the Titans are going to win the South. Yeah, the Titans are going to win the South because somebody needs to win it.
So, yeah. I the Titans out. I mean, they lost both their receivers, and Tannehill's not that good.
I kind of like the Colts, but
it's going to be a coin flip in the South, in my opinion.
Dougie P? No Dougie P love down in Jacksonville?
No.
Sunshine Lawrence?
Not yet. Not yet. They still need
there's a team like that every year. Is the only thing I'll say about it.
And the Broncos. I mean, when's the last time the Broncos been relevant? Since Peyton?
Yeah. John Malmos, he's a big Broncos guy. He doesn't think the Ravens are going to make it. Mahomes is only as good as what's around him. And, yeah, only one team's going to make it in the AFC South.
Yeah,
I think Buffalo's winning the Super Bowl. I don't really see anything that's going to change my mind on that take at all.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to stop him.
I think Herbert's the best quarterback. I know Mahomes is in that division too, but I think Herbert's the best quarterback in the West.
See, I think Russell Wilson is. I think Russell Wilson's going to have 5,000 passing yards this year. I think he's going to be the MVP. That's my sleeper for MVP. Yeah, as a betting man, I would
bet Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a.
He's just the favorite. Yeah, he's just the favorite, probably by a lot.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and make some money off of it, I would like out of those like Herberts or Russell Wilsons or Joe Burrows or Derek Carr. Like I'm going with Russell Wilson as a sleeper for MVP.
I do like, and I like the Dolphins in there.
Yeah,
They're in my top 7.
Remember one thing about Russell Wilson, okay? He's going to be playing his games outdoors now. No more indoor games for Russell Wilson.
I mean he played outdoor
He's
in
in
Seattle.
Seattle. That's not a dome.
But I thought he played indoors.
No,
Most days.
Seattle's outside.
No, they're outside.
You're outside now. Okay, then I'm wrong. Then I thought they played. I thought they played indoors.
Maybe they have a retractable jaw in there. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, I don't. It always rained there, like always.
Oh, that's why I thought. That's why I thought that they had it. That's why I thought they had a dome there.
Well, yeah, that's why their defense was always so good because they always played outside in that atrocious weather. I mean, yeah, Russell Wilson's he's had great teams around him, and that's when he succeeded the most. And that's why I just think that Denver's going to just take a leap this year because they're so good. They're good at every position.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say the Chargers and Oakland, first 1 and 2 in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too.
Look, you can slice this up. There's like 10 teams you can pick for the top 7 for the playoff spots, and like you really can't. Oh, you're an idiot because like you're not an idiot for thinking Denver's going to go. I'm not an idiot for thinking Miami's going to the playoffs.
I think Miami goes, Buffalo goes, and I think the Ravens and Cincinnati go. And I don't think Pittsburgh makes it.
Yeah, I don't think Pittsburgh makes it either.
Browns, no.
Browns, no. I think they're going to be 8 and 9.
So I'm really like, so like now I'm trending towards having Patrick Mahomes not in the AFC playoffs. That just seems weird, but that's what it is. I don't think the Chiefs are as good of a football team as some of these other teams in the AFC. Andy's a great coach. Andy's a great coach, and he made it work. He made it work in Philly for years with no weapons.
So let me ask you this,
Nab
Rob.
that trash.
What would you say if when Odell Beckham is ready to come back, which would probably be around November, he ends up signing with Kansas City, and all of a sudden now they got themselves a deep threat again.
They may need a jump start.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. You never know. I mean,
I think he goes to Green Bay.
Odell?
Yeah. There's literally nothing around Aaron Rodgers right now.
Odell, you think he's playing in 10 degree? I don't see that.
I think he plays with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he did it in New York.
Yeah, but he got drafted there. He had no choice.
I mean, he had great seasons with you.
Yes, he
There's
did.
no nightlife in Lambeau. There's no nightlife in Green Bay. Odell likes the life and the lifestyle and the toys and some of the opportunities he gets because he's a rock star NFL receiver. I don't think Green Bay has that.
Maybe he'll go play in Tampa if somebody goes down.
If he plays,
They got
Tampa,
Julio Jones. You just pencil it in. We pencil in Julio Jones for 1,000 yards this year.
You want to talk about giving Tom Brady another undeserved ring if he goes to freaking.
So basically, they tried to talk Gronk. Probably what happened is they probably tried to talk Gronk into coming back, and Gronk said no. So they signed another beefcake, huge target for Tom Brady and Julio Jones.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess just for my 7 for the AFC,
he's a little faster than Julio than Rob Gronkowski. He's got a little bit more speed, Julio.
like I have Miami in, I have Buffalo in, I have Baltimore in, I have Miami in. I think Brad's right about the Raiders being the second best team in the West.
And they got Devontae Adams now.
Didn't Khalil Mack go to the LA Chargers too?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those two teams.
Yeah.
I think those two teams are going to be 1 and 2.
And the Chargers got J.C. Jackson from the Patriots, who's a double-digit INT guy every year.
Guys, just real quick, look at the AFC standings at the end of last year. So Pittsburgh was the 7th seed, the last seed, with a 9-7-1 record. Indianapolis was 9-8. Miami was 9-8. LA Chargers 9-8, Cleveland 8-9, Baltimore 8-9, Denver 7-10. So and Denver was the 13th seed per se. So that's
It was
6 teams
close.
right there that didn't make it, and they had 7-10 or better records.
They could
were
all be in this year.
exactly. So
And it
like
wouldn't surprise me at all.
Listen, the AFC is loaded. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC. There's no teams. There's a couple of bad teams, obviously, but I mean they're not in the West, and they're not in the Central either.
Ryan Swoop, will Josh Allen win the MVP in your eyes? Like, yeah, it's his to
Yes.
lose. He's the most talented quarterback in the NFL. That's the best quarterback wins the MVP. That's just the way it works.
Josh Allen can do it all. He can beat you with his legs, and he can beat you with his arm.
And Jimmy threw out Russell Wilson as a little bit of an off the radar guy. Probably got some good odds. And I'll throw Lamar Jackson. I think he's 25-1 on FanDuel to win the MVP. He's done it before. So
Yes, he has.
And I think they're going to have a good year this year. I truly do. So, but yeah, my final answer, and I know we got a couple weeks left and we will be talking about it, but as of right now, I think that the 8 and 9 teams that are just going to miss it, I think that's going to be the Dolphins and the Chiefs. So,
Boy, you don't think Tyreek Hill isn't going to help that offense?
I think it
They have a
will.
good defense.
I
They
think
have
they're
a
going to
good
be the 8th seed. I mean, there's just so many other great football teams in the AFC. Like, there's just not enough.
I think the Dolphins play the Patriots week 1, and like, because they were 1-8 last year, then they won 10 in a row or something crazy like that, and almost snuck in.
Yep.
Like they're going to have to get off to a little bit better start and be more consistent. I think they have the tools to do so.
I mean, Jalen Waddle, he's a stud.
He's a beast too.
Yep.
Ryan Swoop, he's got the Chargers over the Bills, and Allen winning MVP. That's in the AFC. I think I'm a Bills over Chargers guy in the AFC. I think. A lot can change though. All right, we gotta get out of here.
Yep.
Tom Arnone, DJ Eastwood, and Ryan Brodo coming up in about 25 minutes here on ATD Radio. Brad Ryer, Jimmy Rodweller, Evan Taylor. Great show as always. Thank you to our great sponsors at Specialized Physical Therapy, All Campus, ARIA Public Adjusting, Manscaped. Thank you to all you guys out there that chimed in on the show and shared the show. We appreciate you. We do it for you guys. So keep them coming. Football's ramping up. Trade deadline next week. Until next Monday, peace out, everybody.
See you, boys.